first off, I just want to know some of your background. Tell our viewers who you are. Um, you know, uh, just on a personal level, and then we'll get into why you're running for Bronx Borough President.
Well, first and foremost, I just like to thank the team of News 12, who's always doing a fantastic job, whether it's the weather, whether it's the news. But News 12 has always been there. And just like News 12, I have always been there in the Bronx. And what we have now is that for the first time in political history, you have we, the people of the Bronx, running for office. The first choice is the people of the Bronx. The second choice, the people of the Bronx. And the third choice in voting is the people of the Bronx. And I'm honored to be that person to carry the banner for the people of the Bronx. Because if you know the history of the Bronx, then you know the history of me. Everything from the burning of the Bronx to the economic developments to there, the people were there and I was there with them. So that is basically my background. And as we go further along in our conversation, we'll get into a little more detail of what were the things that make the Bronx and why is it that the people of the Bronx are the best choice, which is me carrying the people of the Bronx's banner.
You've been around in the Bronx. You said through the good and the bad. So kind of tell us, what you do and how long you've lived in the Bronx and your connection.
Oh, I've been in the Bronx since the early 70s. So I've seen everything that has been happening in the Bronx. I get to wear many hats in many industries that allows you to there because like everyone else in America now, some of us are fishermen, meaning that we don't have a steady paycheck. We have to go out there and fish. So whether it's a cab driver or whether it's a grocery store owner or whether it's a stockbroker, uh, you still have to do it on your own merits and will. And that's how people pay for your services. And basically, you could call me the fisherman of the Bronx with many hats and many skills.
I like that, the fisherman of the Bronx. And what primarily, I mean, have you done law before?
I've done well the hat of a paralegal working with many attorneys. As a matter of fact, you know, using some of that legal skill, I was able to assist a longtime business owner here where they overcharged them with rent over $13,000 and in housing court, we won. We got it back. And that's something that we as a people, because now through this pandemic, which has changed the whole dynamics of how we do business and how we live right now, we're in an economic crisis and a health crisis. And like Chris Cuomo from CNN says, together as one. We all have to pull together now. Black, whites, Hispanics, Indians, everyone together. We must be as one. Gay, straight. We all have to be now working together to start the Bronx because this pandemic has cleaned the slate for all of us. All the great work that Ruben Diaz Jr. did with his fantastic team, bringing down unemployment down to 5%. We were booming and we were ready to rock and roll up to the next level. And I was just going to take his mantle and take it to another level. Now I have to rebuild and bring back everything else, but at a different rate, at a better rate. And I think based on all the relationships that we developed through the years, that we'll become back stronger than ever. And this is what this pandemic did. This pandemic stripped everybody's major title, whether it's a stockbroker, whether it's a bodega owner, whether it's everything. Everybody gets started in the same playing field now together. And I love how everyone has come together, whether it's through bringing foods to the people, whether it's helping with childcare, you know, moms, especially mothers. I give it up to the mothers, but we'll get into the mother thing second because there is an economic plan that I heard this morning that I think we're going to do, which is the Marshall Plan for moms. Because moms, you need some sort of compensation. You're not only a teacher taking care of the kids, and you lost your jobs, through no fault of your own. And we need now to take care of the working moms that are in the house, in there, being teachers, and through no fault of their own. You need some sort of compensation. I'm 100% with that plan I heard this morning. So get ready for, the Marshall Bronx plan for moms.
Why did you decide to run?
Well, basically, right now is the perfect time because, as I spoke earlier, that we had the great job that Ruben Diaz Jr. had done. He took the mantle of Ferrer, Carry On, and now it's my. He did it. Now it's my turn. Now it's their turn. There's no more what people consider political machines. Now the people of the Bronx are the ones that are deciding once again. The people are the ones, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm honored and pleased to be able to carry the banner of the people of the Bronx, because I represent everything from Latinx to blacks, browns, whites, Hispanics, gays, straights, LGBTs. I represent the whole community of the Bronx because together as one. That's what we are.
Hmm. Do you think too? Because I know I had talked to Sammy Ravello, and you know, his whole thing is, we need somebody that doesn't have the baggage of, a political past. Do you think that? Do you kind of agree with that?
Well, political past can be an asset and it can be a deterrent. Because look what we have now. We have a president that's been there for over 36 years in the Senate, but he was the right man for the right time, which is the same way that I'm the right person at the right time because I represent the people of the Bronx.
Hmm. What is your campaign slogan?
Well, we just started right now. We are the people of the Bronx. That's it. United as one. We are the people of the Bronx. And that's who's running on the campaign. Your first choice is going to be the people of the Bronx. Your second choice, the people of the Bronx. Your third choice is the people of the Bronx. Three equals Victor Hugo Gutierrez. That's who it is. The people equals Victor Hugo Gutierrez. See? And that's a good name, Victor Hugo. I like that name. I know.
You have a you have a good name. What and what are, I mean, I know you mentioned some of them, but what are your top issues if you were to be BP?
Well, we can't have any economic development, as the president says. We can't have no economic development unless we beat down this virus, as they say. We need to beat it down, and there are a lot of things that we need. Instead of freezer trucks for bodies, I want freezer trucks to give it out ice creams instead of that. And now those freezer trucks that they say, the ice cream trucks, you can use them now for vaccine trucks to deliver the vaccines, which is needs to be cold. So when you hear that little sound, doo 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 doo, you can go out and go get your vaccine. That's just an idea in case someone is hearing this in the administration. You can get the credit for all the ideas, but you know that's one of the good ideas. But first, we must take care of the virus. We must get everybody vaccinated in the Bronx, as the governor said yesterday. We're in the top there right now. We're creeping up too much.
Just looking at your Instagram page, you are around a lot of movers and shakers. You're a busy man. You see a lot of people. What makes you so active and wanting to get involved and knowing all these people?
Basically, when it comes to anything else, it's like the human body. You have a hand, you have an ear, you have a mouth, a stomach. Everyone has a function. Every piece of your body has a function, and that's the same thing with people. Everyone has something to contribute, and they're in an area of position. Just because you don't have the title does not mean you don't have access to help to the solution, and that's what makes it so interesting. That I've been able to work with all these fine individuals in the business area, entertainment area, in every area of education. And when you're able to work with a lot of people, you get better results because your intentions and your motivations are about the people, the people of the Bronx, which, equals Victor Hugo Gutierrez. So when you vote, it's Victor Hugo Gutierrez, the people of the Bronx. And also, just on another note, because of my Latin cultural background, I was able to incorporate a lot of the cultural parades in there, whether it's Puerto Rican Day Parade, Dominican Day, Ecuadorian, Mexican, because we are a mix, so we're diversity in the Bronx. So you're allowing now bringing all the arts, all the different cultures to that diverse Bronx. And that's what we have. We have the melting pot here in the Bronx. Queens thinks they have the melting pot, but we're the melting pot.
And what by knowing all those people, like you said, it really has helped. You've been able to cultivate those relationships. Would you consider yourself a political person? I mean, in terms of your political past, could you kind of describe that?
When you say political, what people don't realize what politics is. Politics just means policies for the people. Now, there are those that have used it and corrupted to do things which were to their own self-interest. We have a lot of examples, as you are more aware of. But at the end of the day, everybody's a politician, whether it's for your school, your kids' rights, for his, to get better lunch. You're always a politician in everything that you do. But the thing is that where's your heart? Where's your intention? Or is it for your self-interest, or is it for the benefit of all? You know, we
Mm.
have to be as one. So because I have does not mean you should not have. You know, we should all eat together at the same table. If we got meat on the table, we'll eat meat. If we got to eat bone soup, we'll do bone soup. We'll all eat at the same table. That's it.
What other issues, you mentioned COVID, tackling, obviously that's a big one. What are other top issues that you have? I know you're all about the people. So what would you tackle?
Well, once we can tackle the working with the governor and the president and the mayor, we'll able first knock out COVID. Then from there, we can knock off the rest of the things to do economic development and get people working, get people the jobs that they need. And I'm glad that the president is giving some sort of compensation because people are hurting. They're there. People use a word called food insecurity. Are they crazy? It's called hungry. There are people that are hungry, and you got to feed the people. And I'm glad for the food bank and all the other churches and everyone that stepped up to the plate. Because we seen lines in the Bronx that kind of break your heart. And I hate to see ladies in their older years standing on line for 2 hours for, just breaks my heart. But I think we together as one, if you can help each one, we can do it. So, right now we're going through a hard times, but I think that we're at the cusp now that we can turn it around. So once we start getting people the jobs, we can tackle more, open up the economy. We can deal with education. We can deal with a lot of other issues. One by one, we'll tackle because, like you said, there's a whole menu of issues that requires all of us coming together as one.
What is this plan for mothers that you have?
Oh, Mother's Day. I love throwing events, but because of COVID, I have to do maybe a virtual Mother's Day. Maybe we could work with the local flower shops to deliver Mother's Days, or maybe work with the local also businesses to do the business. Because right now we're in restaurant week, and they're hurting. So now, I encourage everyone to shop small and go to every restaurant because that's another area we need to rebuild because we lost a lot of great local restaurants and great foods, and that's what makes the spice of life, the diversity of all the foods you can eat, whether it's Arthur Avenue with the mozzarella cheese or Caridad restaurant with Latino food or the Italian food. We have a great mix in the Bronx of food and diversity and people that we have to now rebuild. And it's a restart, but I think we can restart better and build better. But it's going to take all of us now, whatever power you have, even if it's a phone call, even if it's there, even if it's visiting a neighbor, do all of that because we need to reconnect.
How has been campaigning going? What are your thoughts for this race for the VP?
Oh, the foundation was laid way back in March. Once you start seeing that, what you have to do when you campaign is take the best of the best. Now there's a different sort of connection. You know, the younger generation was way ahead of their time. With FaceTime and everything else. The new generation has to get used to it, and that is the greatest thing to see a grandmother pick up her iPad and talk to the nieces and nephews. Grandma, hi, daddy. So, and that's the beauty of connecting. And you can be anywhere in the world. You don't have to do it. You can be safe at home. And we did all of that during the Christmas holidays, where most of us who said stay home and New Year, stay home, but reach out to the family, have a Zoom party. Maybe we may need to create a Bronx Zoom. So that way we have a, Bronx relationship and just have stuff delivered until this pandemic is over. And then, we have house parties with friends, because that's the latest trend.
What would you say to, in terms of as voters head to the polls, see your name, what do you want them to remember?
That change has come to the Bronx, and the people of the Bronx are voting once again. So when you vote for the Bronx, there's three choices: the people of the Bronx one, the people of the Bronx two, the people of Bronx three. All those three equals one, which is Victor Hugo Gutierrez. So you're there, and I thank all the people that came out during the pandemic to vote for the presidential election. You made the difference in the Bronx. We set a record. I was hoping for the record that we set. I think we're over 355,000 this year. During my election, I hope we can break that record again and have most votes in any borough. Let's set the Guinness Book of World Record for borough president. We the vote. Get the younger generation voting, anyone that's turning 18, and let's get everyone there. Let's just break some records.
So kind of just tell me from your perspective, what role you feel the BP plays.
Oh no, one of the things is the borough president's role is to be whatever you want it to be. You've given certain powers to do it. Now, under my administration, it's going to be totally different because the people of the Bronx are the ones that are going to start dictating legislation. All the city council, we need a legislation, whether state, city, or federal, or congressional. Right now, we the people decide, because if they ask you, how many votes did you get for city council? 3,000? How much did the people of the Bronx vote for the borough president? Oh, 50,000 in your area. So don't you think you should listen to the people of the Bronx? That's the first issue, that we, the people of the Bronx, have to say with elected officials, because some of them have done stuff like throwing jails and agreeing to terms that we totally disagree. But that's another issue to be discussed. But the role of the borough president basically is the land. We control the land, and we're bringing the land back to the people, because the housing equations are crazy. And the thing is, with people that live in public housing or other subsidized housing, they're actually getting thrown out when the actual uh, management companies are making $3,000 off the people. And that's what happened with the case that we won, where you're getting $300 or $600 from the individual, but you're making 3,000. You want to evict them for 1 month? You just made $40,000 of the brother or the sister or the mother, and you want to throw out family of kids, and you already took $40,000 off of them because they owe you $1,200. Come on. But that's just another issue.
Yeah, well, how would you say you would, if you were BP, you would tackle gentrification?
Well, basically, gentrification, that means that people of higher income are coming into your area. It doesn't matter white, black, any race. It's just more people, money are coming into the area. So what that does to property values is that their landlords figure, hey, they can pay it, they raise it, and that's how the property values go. Look, in the real wearing my real estate hat, the first apartment I saw was on Third Avenue. It went for $958,000, a penthouse apartment right there on the Third Avenue and 138th Street. And I'm like, you can buy 3 houses for that same amount in the borough. But people know the convenience. And like we said, we're the only borough connected to it. But I don't think there's going to be gentrification under my administration, because we have a brand new land use project that was used in Manhattan, where the borough took control of the land, and then the people owned the land, and they had to answer to the people on it. It's a great plan, and they used it in Cooper Union. And that's something that we're going to be initiating, where we bring it back. And then, of course, throughout the rents formula. Because nobody, come on, a 1-bedroom apartment, you got to make $40,000? Like, come on, $40,000 to get one of those qualified. And that raises another issue, which is first dibs. They passed a law plenty of times, and these politicians and other people have not enforced it. When you do a development in the Bronx, the first people that should have the first say are the people of the Bronx. Okay, they're the first ones that get that apartment. If you live in the area, you have the first dibs, and nobody has ever enforced that, but I will enforce it. So, I'm putting all developers on notice. I will enforce that, because I want to see your numbers. How many people from the area have you offered apartments to? And if it meets their requirements. And then, of course, throw out that crazy formula. You can have wealthy people along with uh, lower income people together. They do that in Manhattan on the west side, on 20th Street, whereas that's the city housing, but you got people making $100,000 and people making $1,000 in the same building. You can do it.
What is a memory you have of Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr.?
Ruben Diaz Jr., just look at the stage at Orchard Beach. That's Mr. Salsa Rengue. He's the salsa, I'm the rengue. So, we make salsa rengue. Great job with Orchard Beach and all the concerts. There's over $60 million that he was able to secure for it. And hopefully now with all that development, we're going to change Orchard Beach and call it to International Beach. Let's bring brand new sands, bring everything else, and then, bring back the festivity. So you don't have to go to Long Island. You don't got to go to the Hamptons. You go to Orchard Beach, the cleanest and beautifulest beach around. So if you watch Ruben and watch, he can break dance too. So just watch, hey, Ruben can break and rap. Watch out. He's a mean rapper. So we see him at Orchard Beach rapping.
What is your favorite secret spot in the Bronx that you have?
Oh no, one of the best spots that you can go to is at Maestro's Catering Hall. When they throw down, and I love some of the elected officials that have done great events. Even the Reverend Diaz Sr., he threw great events. Everybody's thrown great events, have thrown in there. And that place is that, the oxtails are fantastic. Oh, they make the best ones. And music, dancing, DJ, it's fantastic. And I thank all the elected officials and all those that were involved for providing the residents of the Bronx things. And it's at no cost. It comes out of the local businesses and their budgets to help the people out. So that's a secret gem that I like in there.